So we've gotten so far on this car that we're pretty much just waiting for parts now. There's still little things I can do, like I want to redo the driver's side transmission mount. I need a shifter cable. I put a non-power seat into it. I'm going to throw bolts in the back of it today before I go to move it. I still don't have the door bars in. They're just sitting here. I don't have a battery box in it. I don't have any of that cool stuff in it. I don't have threaded rod in the back, because to be honest, I don't exactly know where this car is going. So I can't really completely build it until I get an idea of where I want it to go. So I have to put this car outside and bring another one in. So this is my problem. I don't want to put this outside. I have a switch panel there, I have toggle switches, I have a computer. Now the computer does seal itself, so I'm fine with that. I have headers, coil packs, sensors, motors. It's winter, it's going to snow all winter. I do not want this thing outside. So I have to give up a parking space. I have to give up a parking space inside this garage. Now I don't want to send this one out because I'm not done with it. I want to leave this one in here. It's able for me to work on. It's out of the way. It's because of how smashed in the back is. It fits really nice in there. Gives me lots of walking room. If I was to put this there, it'd be 2.5 feet longer than this one, so it wouldn't fit as well. The front bumper would be like here. So I'll show you the parking space. I'm going to give up on this thing. Oh, the Camry wagon. The Camry wagon's going to go outside. It's going to sit outside all winter. It shouldn't be too bad for it. It's got all the door seals. It's got a hood. It's got all the windows in it. I think it will be fine sitting outside this winter. I didn't want to. I brought it inside. My plan was to let it sit inside all winter. But I can't. I need that car inside more than I need this one inside. Let's go look at some other options that I had to come to decide this. So I could kick one of these cars out, but realistically, these cars won't fare outside as good as that Camry wagon. Right how this one is, the gas tank's out of the weather. The engine, the toggle switches, battery box, electrical, everything is out of the weather. Yes, the roof leaks a bit, but it's better than not being inside a garage at all. This one right here, again, everything is underneath the roof. And yes, I could put the 3.1 Lumina Camry halfway in here, but then this one here would have to sit outside. And as much as I hate this car, I do want to run it again. So I don't think I'll be kicking this one out, and I don't think I'll be kicking this one out. What I'm probably going to do is just move the Camry wagon. But there's something in the way. This car is in the way of getting the Camry wagon out. So I'm going to start this car up. I'm going to move it ahead so it's in between the two doors. Start the Camry wagon up, drive it outside, park it way out of the way. And then start the Lumina up, drive it in, then take this one and put it in that garage. It's going to be a lot of car swapping. Rear tires do not really turn on this very well, actually at all. So it's going to be fighting the snow. It's a warmer day, so it's probably going to be shooting a lot of mud. I finally got the throttle linkages freed up, so it doesn't stick wide open anymore. It's only stuck half wide open, which is much better than fully wide open. So we got some vehicles to move. Starting that Camry wagon is going to be the first thing. The battery is dead. So I don't know. Let's go do that, I guess. Actually, no, we got to start this one first and move it ahead. Let that Camry wagon charge up a bit more. Let's get this thing going. So the throttle still sticks wide open on this. I thought I got away from that, but apparently not. Oh, come on, stop doing this to me. Disconnect the fuel pump. There we go. So I guess the next step now is getting that door open, moving the engine crane, and getting the Camry wagon open. Alright. Will she start up yet? Now there is no shifter in this car, so I'm gonna have to start it in gear, with my foot on the brakes, drive it to where I want to go, turn it off, change the gears, turn it back on, drive it. I'm hoping that the brakes are good on it. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so if that's park, that'd be reverse. Neutral, drive. Make sure I have everything off the car that I want off the car, everything out of the car that I need out. Now it's not being stored outside, so I can grab my stuff from the other side and just prefer to get it all out. Alright, I think we're ready. We got all the arms out except one. See how the first test drive goes. Fuel pump, starter. That's the first time I've ever driven this car. Did you see the power? Look at that black mark. Rear tires are not turning because there's no air in them. Maybe I should have filled them up before I tried to drive. It's been on the hoist for the last 3 months, so I really didn't notice that they're that flat. I might just damage them, but you know, I'm going to try to put in some air in them, get a little bit closer, try to put some air in them, so then that way they roll a little bit better and I can steer it better going into that garage. But this thing's got power. This thing has power for sure. Let's get a little bit closer, and then we'll turn it off, put some air in it so my air line can reach the tires, and then we'll go from there. I gotta just put it in reverse now though. Into the garage door because the rear tires are not turning. Okay, let's put air in these tires and then try it again. We've now got air in the rear tires, as you can hear the air compressors on. I gotta drive forward for the back end of it over a bit and try again. So I think I can change the gears without actually turning it off. We'll see. I am one proud derby driver and builder with this car. Even the dog approves. This thing here, other than the one-wheel peel, I'm not overly pleased with that right now. It idled right down to the point where I could drive it in, no problem. I could even change the gears without it wanting to take over. Throttle response felt very good. I did talk to Josh there about the low idle, and he tells me the low idle should be fine, but if I want a higher idle, they can program a higher idle into it so it does idle higher. That's the great thing about having these things tuned, is you can just play around with where you want it and how you want it to make it exactly the car that you want to drive. So now there's one more step. We have to get this piece of crap inside of there. So let's try this again. This one here, the rear tires are definitely not turning. I know that. Can't even put air in those buggers. So this is the one I'm a little bit nervous about. The fact that it has no brakes, the fact that the throttle stick's wide open, I can't turn off the car. I guess I can turn off the car. That's pretty much my only way of stopping it. The rear tires do not turn. So I know that I'm going to have to bring up the idle quite heavily. And the front tires are quite bald. So we'll see if it can even fight its way into that garage. I'm kind of hoping it does. What I want to do now is I want to figure out where the oil's coming from on this thing. So we're just going to get my light, we're going to start it up, we're going to wait for smoke, and we're going to figure out where it's coming from. Because that is honestly the next step. If there's an oil leak, or if it's just burning off oil that's been on this thing for the last 15, 20 years, I'd like to figure that out. I'd like to figure out where my damn vice grip went too. Hold this on. I just took it off. This thing runs like a tin. You hear that? That's a happy city. So anyway, we got all the vehicles moved around today. I'm just going to throw some big stuff outside, and then we're going to close down all the doors because it is getting cold in here. No sense having a fire going. You got the doors open. And I think one of the first things that we're going to do with this thing is get the rear tires so they turn. I noticed that this one will start to turn on the passenger rear, but I noticed that the driver's side one rear is not turning still. We're going to come up with a different throttle cable system because this one here is so seized up that it sticks wide